Hey everyone. So I'm being guided to do a collective reading for y'all before I get into individual signs today, which I will tell you that the first thing that came up for me today while I was thinking about doing some readings genuinely is excitement. And I'm really excited. And I don't know if y'all can feel it, but I think the general energy of things is kind of starting to shift in a positive direction. And yes, there will be and always has been suffering in this world. We will not be able to change that just through a simple change in attitude. But I think that if we start to embrace the things in our world that do bring us positivity, or we start to look at the world through a different lens, I do think that allows us to see and experience more of the beauty and positivity that is happening at the same exact time, which I know is it's kind of woo woo. And obviously if you're watching tarot, like, you're open to this sort of thing. So what I'm saying is that I think through our own perspective shift and our own kind of dedication to the type of energy that we want to bring to the table, I think that that makes a bigger difference for the world as a whole, overall, truly. And so what I'm feeling today is I'm feeling dedicated, and not only just to this channel and to my own personal journey, but I'm feeling dedicated to what it is that I feel that I was put here to do, which is a surprisingly and kind of annoyingly a very diverse and kind of bridging of multiple different facets of things together, and it's really a lot to encompass in one lifetime or in one person. So I'm trying to hone in on the specific things that really make that efficient for me, and I believe that I just got 2:02 on the clock, but I believe that as we all choose to do that for ourselves and we become dedicated to our own self-mastery, our own journey, and what it is that we feel we are put here to do in this lifetime, which could literally just be to experience life. Like, maybe you don't feel like you have a purpose per se of what you are bringing to the table, or what it is that you are, what's the word? I want to say your participation or your contribution, like maybe your life purpose. And I know, like, we don't hear this enough. And so I just want to share this with you, because this is what Spirit is telling me right now, is that your life purpose could be simply to receive. It could be simply to exist, to enjoy, to embrace. It could be as simple as you really relaxing into life, or you kind of like letting go in life. It's hard to explain, but I think that some people do have a more passive role in this lifetime, and that's okay. Like, that's actually really a good contribution as well. Like, you have to remember that not every life purpose is about like achieving greatness and like the traditional sense, or achieving success in a traditional sense, but it can be as simple as you are born simply just to experience what this life has to offer, or experience this world, like this planet specifically, which can be, I think, hard for people to embrace, because we're taught that we're supposed to achieve, we're supposed to do, we're supposed to attain and acquire and build, and all of these concepts, which are great concepts for, for life. And yes, you should do those things if you feel called to, if it aligns with you, if it makes sense to you, if it feels good to you, okay? Because if it doesn't feel good and it doesn't align, I mean, that could be coming from a place of foundational healing that needs to happen before you can really like participate in that way. And it might not feel good until you get to that place of healing within yourself. That's very true. And some of the most valuable things in life are difficult. Okay, they're difficult to achieve, and they're difficult to create, right? So I'm not saying that you should only do things that are easy and that come naturally, because there's skills that you may want to acquire, but it will take a lot of time and effort and dedication, which is exactly the energy that I was feeling coming into this reading today, is that you may be feeling like, you know what? This is difficult. It takes effort, but I'm going to dedicate myself to it. And I do not care, because that is what I'm called to do. I'm called to dedicate myself to the process. And I think that that is incredibly valuable. So what I'm trying to share with you today really is the concept of really tuning in to yourself and tuning into source, okay? And people have a lot of names for source, right? Like, you know, traditionally in organized religion, people say God, you know, but we know in other parts of the world they say Allah or Yeshua or, you know, any of those things. The, you know, there's many forms of source that come to us all. And, you know, for me, it's the energy that makes my heart beat. Okay. You know, it's the energy that powers the sun in the sky, right? Like these concepts of life that we cannot explain past the point of just observing them, right? Like we can't really explain how this works. You know, we can explain how it works from the point of you know, that spark going off, and we can say, okay, we know that when the heart beats, it pumps blood through the body, yada yada yada, right? But what is that spark, right? So I feel the reason why I'm being drawn to share with you my perspective on source energy is because that is truly what powers me, and that's what I try to tune into when making my decisions, when deciding what to put my energy into, and when it comes to dedicating myself to certain projects, ideas, life paths, and visions, right? Because I have a lot of ideas, but it doesn't mean that they are all completely aligned, because I am affected by the world around me, and I am influenced by the world around me to a certain extent. Even when I try and protect myself from it, it still can sneak its way into my psyche, and I can get all sorts of ideas that are not healthy or aligned, right? And I think all of us can relate to that to a certain extent, right? So some of us more than others, unfortunately. We have to build up our psychic strength, right? So basically what I am feeling for us today, the collective, the planet, right, is that, you know, we are at a turning point. And I know that this has been said. It's because, you know why? I feel like it's so common that we talk about beginnings and endings, transformations, you know, transitions, things becoming more and more what's the word, like reaching this apex, right? Like we're going through this transitionary period of this like death and rebirth happening at the same time. And the reason why I think we hear this so much is because, one, it's happening all the time. Okay. It is happening all the time, consistently, back to back, all the time, right? Like there's no escaping this change and this transition, right? Like it is taking place all the time. So that's the first reason. And I feel the second reason is because we are actually in a macrocosmic level. Like you've got the microcosm of day to day, like even just in the forest, right? For example, you have animals being born and dying, plants, seeds sprouting and plants rotting, all in the same environment all the time, right? So like that's a good example, I feel, for the life and death consistency, right? And the only thing consistent about life is change, right? And transformation. So what I'm trying to I think elaborate on is that when we have those things happening at the same time all the time, that might be an energy that we pick up on, okay? But on a macrocosmic level, I think we are actually experiencing some form of transit, and we know this even astrologically that is taking place. But even on an energetic level, if we had no knowledge of astrology, I do think that we would still be feeling these changes, okay? So so that's part of what I wanted to share with you today. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some cards and see what Spirit has to say. Thank you so much, Spirit, for your guidance and your messages. We could not do it without you. We are so grateful. Okay. Okay, awesome. Yes, okay. So this is kind of, I feel like, touching on what I was feeling for y'all earlier as well. So we have the gift is the Oracle card that came out today. And this is the Oracle of Mystical Moments, by the way. I've been meaning to put all of the decks that I use in the description box below so I don't have to reiterate every reading. But I have not done that yet. So this is the Oracle of Mystical Moments, and I'll show you because I do watch tarot on YouTube as well. I have some readers I like to tune into, and I have not seen this Oracle deck used yet, but these other two tarot decks that I use, I see quite often. So, so I don't feel like I necessarily have to share exactly which decks I'm using because some of y'all might recognize them, or you can just ask in the comments if you're really interested. But I just, for whatever reason, wanted to share with you what this deck is. So I'm going to go ahead and read from the book. But with the gift, the feeling that I'm getting is that, like I was saying, about tuning into your life's purpose, or tuning into the energy that, that really truly aligns with you when it comes to the tangible actions that you take in your daily life, okay? The path that you're on, the choices you make, the way that you want to go, and the way you want to show up in the world. And I feel like these are your gifts, okay? And if your gift is to be receptive and calm and kind and passive and just experience life, that is a freaking gift, okay? You have to know that, because I don't know why Spirit is making this so strong right now, but it is literally the truth that y'all don't even understand. Like, we are not giving enough credit to the introverts, to the calm and the quiet, to those who support others, and feel completely aligned with that purpose, that there's not anything beyond them just simply being and experiencing that that is closer to their purpose than what they're doing already, okay? And I don't know why, I'm like feeling almost some anger about that, because I can only imagine what it's like, and I do in some ways understand this, because I have felt that, like, I'm constantly falling short of my life's purpose, or I'm constantly falling short of the expectations of society, or certain parts of my family, or whatever it may be, that I am not living up to, Spirit's standards either, right? So I'm constantly striving, which I think is, it's incredibly healthy and positive to have goals, and to also have, be striving basically for greatness, right? And that's your particular brand of greatness. That's what I want to put on the table today. Is this is about your gift. This is not about what other people want from you or what other people expect of you. This is truly about what really, really resonates and vibes with you. This is your freaking gift, and no one can take that away from you unless you let them, unless you believe the garbage that they tell you, that you aren't good enough, that you're not reaching your goals. Just no, you do not deserve that. What you need to do is tune into what this gift is and just be it 100 freaking %. If you are a warrior, then be a warrior. If you are a helper, then be a helper, right? I mean, be open to the transformation of yourself and of your gift, because your gift could be in the beginning half of your life, you're supposed to be a helper. And in the second half of your life, you're supposed to be a warrior. You don't know, right? So you literally are transforming and changing all the time. So I just want to encourage y'all to just please take it to heart, and really, really let your gift shine, okay? Because that's what is needed from you. Not for you to be this specific thing, but it's for you to embrace your gift and show up with that gift every day. Figure out what your gift is, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read the card out of the book here. Okay, the gift. Whimsy, excitement, curiosity, gift. Under a snowy sky, a woman with feathered hair holds a little box. What is inside the box? We don't know for sure, but it seems to be a gift. Simple on the outside. Excuse me, I actually have something in my eye, weirdly enough, which I know that sounds silly, but I feel like that's symbolic. Simple on the outside, but perhaps magical within. We can only imagine what would happen if we could tug the string and peer inside. Would it be the fulfillment of an old wish? Remember the curiosity we have before opening presents, the magical space between dreams and truth. A gift reminds us of the excitement we have in these special moments. Okay, I love this description because what it makes me think of is remember the curiosity we have before opening presents. All right? The magical space between dreams and truth. So what I'm feeling for y'all is that this right here, this is about some of your untapped potential. This is about the gifts that you don't even know you have yet, right? Or the potential and the what was the word that was used just now? I feel like it was perfect. Yeah, the fulfillment of an old wish, okay? I feel like this could be gifts that you discovered about yourself and then tucked away, and that you have not been tapping into. It could be that maybe when you were a child, and this is just for example, because I know that when I was a child, and this could be for, you know, I mean, everybody has a different spiritual journey, okay? So, you know, but for example, when you were a child, maybe you kind of were getting these little downloads or messages, right? Which you didn't know what they were at the time. Like they were just thoughts, dreams, your imagination, right? And you were getting this information about yourself and your greatness or your gifts. And you were like, wow, I really want to build stuff. I don't know why, but I really like terraforming and building things, right? Like I love beautifying things. I love cleaning. And this is talking about my gifts or the things that came up for me as a child that were really like, I don't know why, but they lit me up inside. And I was like, wow, I feel like I'm supposed to help people. I feel like I'm supposed to provide emotional what's the word? Emotional support. I feel like I'm supposed to empathize with people and provide sympathy and love. And, you know, I feel like I'm meant to do great things. And I mean, like I said, everybody's spiritual journey is different, but I'm saying, for example, if you were a child and you had this inkling about these gifts of yours, that this could be the gifts that you tucked away that, maybe coming back out for you, which is so exciting, especially, I'm telling you, especially if you felt unsupported as a child in these gifts. If you felt judged, or you felt that people were like, oh, well, you can't do that. You know, you can't be the president because you're a woman. Right? So that's what I'm saying, is that it could be certain things that you felt, I'm supposed to be a public speaker. But as a child, maybe you stuttered or you had a lisp, right? And people were like, well, I don't think you'd be a good public speaker because you have a speech impediment. And it's like, wow, now you're an adult, you've overcome your speech impediment, and you're like, excuse me, I'm a great public speaker, or I'm going to be, you know? You're dedicating yourself to your gifts. You're just like, I'm done. I don't care. You think that I can't accomplish that goal because of how I look, you know, or my gender or whatever it is, and you're like, psh, excuse me, I have a gift, and I'm ready to unbox the gift, okay? And I don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. All I know is that it's my job, like it's my duty, it's my responsibility, right? Or maybe if you've been trying to achieve all your life and you're like, this doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm supposed to be meditating on the top of a mountain and just being a beacon of unconditional love. That's my purpose. But everyone tells me that's lazy, or that doesn't make sense, or that's, you know, you're just dreaming and all that sort of thing. It's like, no, maybe you do. Maybe there is a temple waiting for you somewhere on a mountain that you're supposed to go and dedicate your life to that. Your energy matters. Your gift matters. The things that you bring to the table are, I'm telling you, nobody else can do that. You might have spirit tribe members who are doing the same, have a similar gift as you, but you, I'm telling you, it's just like every drop of rain makes up a rainstorm. If there's only one drop of rain doing it and all the rest of the raindrops are like, nah, I think I'm going to stay vapor because I don't really know if I'm supposed to be a raindrop or not. You know, I mean, I'm trying to tell you that, like, it's about you though. Like, I don't want you to feel guilty that if you're not embracing your gifts, or you know you have untapped potential that you're not dedicating yourself to. I don't want you to feel like, oh, well, the rest of humanity is depending on me, because that's a lot to carry. Like, trust me, that's a lot to carry. And you have to remember that this is about your journey. You deserve this. You deserve to fulfill your gift, because there's no other greater feeling. I just know it. You know? And I'm telling you that when you do that, and you do it for yourself, and you do it out of gratitude, to source, that you're like, source, you gave me this gift, and my connection with you and my connection with myself is the best feeling there is. I just want to do that every day. I don't even care about anybody else. That's a good place to start, you know, because you may have given up on humanity, and I wouldn't blame you. Okay. But what I'm saying is that when you do that, you do benefit humanity. You do benefit other people, and you benefit your community. Even if you're isolated from your community, you're benefiting your community by not being out in the street, you know, causing chaos, right? Or you're not committing crimes and hurting other people. You know, that's what I'm saying about having a passive purpose, is that, and I don't know where that came from, y'all, because seriously, I've never heard that in my life. Like, I have chills up and down my body right now, and I feel like I'm going to cry, because I'm serious. I feel like some of us do have passive purpose, and that is okay. It is powerful too. It is so important. Gee whiz. I'm trying not to like curse or, you know, use the Lord's name in vain and stuff. And it's really, truly not, just like, I really want to be gender neutral when I come to the table for y'all, because what I'm really trying to do here is reach as many people's hearts as possible. And it matters to me. I'm willing to dedicate myself to that. And I might let a curse word slip here and there. You know what I mean? I know some people don't like that. And I'm not going to say, well, F you then, because you just, you know, just take it or leave it. It's like, yeah, to a certain extent, take it or leave it. If you don't like my readings or my energy, I hope that you move on, because that means I don't align with you energetically. And you would be doing yourself a disservice by sitting here and listening to me if you didn't like it, right? But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that offends you. Are you triggered? Like, no, if it offends a lot of people, I'm going to do my best to try and curb those habits, because it's habitual. And I do think that it is within my power to adjust myself to a certain extent, because I'm not going to change who I am for other people, though. That's the part about this gift, is you need to own yourself, own your gifts, and don't let other people tell you that you need to fit a certain mold. It's not about fitting molds when you take into account things that harm other people, things that cause emotional responses in other people that they don't like, that they don't appreciate, right? Sometimes the truth hurts, okay? So I'm always going to speak truth, my truth, or the best of my ability with like my connection to spirit. Like, you know, some days have less clarity than others, because we're always changing and we're all different, and the energy changes day to day. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep the night before and I'm not doing so hot today. Like, I have enough compassion for myself to recognize when my gifts are not shining as clearly, and I don't hate on myself for that. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say to you is that if you are acknowledging that a decent portion of the population doesn't like, and I know this is hard. It's hard because we don't want to water ourselves down, but we don't want to, we also don't want to kind of like, you know, snub our noses. I don't know what the proper euphemism is for that, but where you know what I mean? We don't want to flip the bird to people because they're like, hey, I feel like here's something you could work on. Here's some way that you could grow. And I care more about the messages that are coming through me and getting it to other people. Like, there's certain things about me that I just, I'm like, either you like it or you don't. You know what I mean? And I'm going to continue to change and grow and do what feels best for me in order to further me along my path. And some of those things might not jive with everybody. Not everyone's going to like you. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to like that you have tattoos. Not everyone's going to like your style or your voice even, right? Even I will get on YouTube and be looking up, tarot readings. And if I don't like the person's voice or their energy, I just move on. You know what I mean? I just do. And I can tell within the first 3 seconds if I'm going to vibe with that reader or not. So I really implore y'all to do the same thing, like sift and find the things that resonate for you. That's how you receive your messages, right? But what I'm saying to you is that when it comes to our gift and our purpose, it's a lifelong journey, and your gift and your purpose may change over time. So you may think that, that you're, gifted in some area, and you may have been doing that for a long time, but it's starting to feel like it's drying up or something like that. And you're starting to find these untapped gifts inside of you that you, maybe have forgotten about or you never knew about, so that's what I'm feeling for y'all. It's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some tarot on this. Thank you so much, Spirit. We appreciate you. Yes. That's great. Keep going. Thank you so much, Spirit. Wow. I'm getting like a lot of messages want to come out. I'm going to take this one, but I'm not going to take all of them. Thank you so much, Spirit. Oh, gosh, I appreciate you. Wow. I mean it. You're awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. I love this. So we've got the Emperor in reverse at the bottom of the deck. And the first thing I thought of was relinquishing control. That's the first thing I thought of, is letting go of control. And I think that sometimes we can forget that we may or may not have control over certain things. The Emperor in reverse, to me, actually in this moment, is also speaking to the concept that was coming through about dedication and putting in the time and effort and energy into something, or having a, or, and this is either or, maybe it's a little bit of both for you, or having a passive purpose. Because what I'm thinking is you're starting to figure out what you have control over and what you don't. You know, and you're starting to relinquish control, and you don't want to be, you don't want to boss spirit around, right? You want to be receptive, okay? And so I think this is really about you figuring out where your power is, whether you don't have power in a situation or you do, right? So I think this is really about, instead of believing that, like, I am the creator of my own reality. It's like, to a certain extent, you are the creator of your perspective of your reality, right? Like, I mean, truly, like, and you have the ability to physically interact with your reality and change it around you, right? But when it comes to outside forces, you have to acknowledge that you cannot control everything. Like, excuse me, hands down, full on, you cannot control your reality. Like, I'm sorry to burst that bubble, and a lot of people may get mad at me for saying that, and they might, like, you know what I mean? Like, well, but that's what I've been fed for so long, that's what I believe, is that I control my reality. It's like, okay, so then every time something goes wrong, who do you blame? You blame yourself. You do. You go, my vibe isn't high enough. I guess I haven't healed enough. I guess that I haven't, acquired enough crystals. I guess that I haven't meditated enough. I guess I'm not meditating the right way. I guess I need to buy another crystal. I guess I need to buy another book, right? I need to watch another YouTube video. Like, no. If things happen to you that you did not want to manifest, it doesn't mean that you're not a powerful being. It doesn't mean that you didn't do all of the things right to attract the things that you want. I'm telling you, what happens to you is, there's so many factors. Like, okay, you could isolate yourself in a cave and things will still happen to you that you did not want to happen. Like you can't say that you are the creator of your own reality when there are 7 billion plus other people on the planet, and not to mention Source, because if you believe in Source, you have to believe that Source has power in your life, right? Like, so maybe you want a mansion and you're trying to manifest that, and you go, oh, okay, you have to work in the physical world in order to acquire the wealth necessary to purchase a mansion, or, you need to go and gamble or do whatever it is, right? Like you figure out your path to manifesting what it is you want, okay? For example, so I want a mansion. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do my daily meditations, my affirmations. I'm going to do a vision board. I'm not saying that those things don't energetically interact with your reality. They do, okay? But say you do this, you do all the right things in your opinion, and you still don't get a mansion. Who do you blame? You blame yourself. I'm telling you, that's toxic. And I'll tell you why it's toxic, because did you ever consider that maybe you didn't need a mansion? Or maybe that you not getting the mansion when you wanted it that badly actually was what you needed to experience? That maybe you needed to realize that you don't have control. Because if you just got handed everything you wanted, y'all, like, you would literally, I'm telling you, the narcissism would be even worse than it already is. Which narcissism is, it's an epidemic. It really is. Us thinking that we are the most powerful being on the planet, we're the most powerful being in our own lives, yes, to a certain extent. We can look at that situation and say, I really want a mansion, but if I don't get it, I'm going to accept that is that aligns with the Spirit's will. I only want what's best for me. That's a great affirmation. Great Spirit, I would really like a mansion if that's what's best for me, right? Because you may think that you know what you need, but I'm telling you, Spirit will always know better. Spirit will always know better. And that's because, I'm telling you, it's because we are flawed and we are limited in this physical reality as a human being. But our spirit is totally unlimited. Our spirit is directly connected with Source, and we can block ourselves from it. But I'm telling you, no matter what, you are always connected to Source. If your heart is beating, honey, you're connected. And you may or may not. And even after your heart's not beating, even after you die, you're connected. So I want to share that because I want you to relinquish the blame and the guilt and the shame and the self doubt and the self flagellation. Basically, you are punishing yourself for the things that are not manifesting physically in your reality because you think that you're in control of it. I feel like Spirit really wants y'all to just humble yourselves a little bit, okay? And you should not think so highly of yourself to the point where that you believe that you are in control of your reality or that you're in control of humanity or you're in control of the direction of humanity. This is a collective effort, honey. It's just like if you come into a kitchen and you're going to work in the kitchen, right? And you believe that you, even if you're the head chef, even if you are the manager, right? You believe that the kitchen's success is going to be up to you whether or not you show up and work hard. But guess what? If your staff is slacking, your kitchen is gonna be negatively affected. It's gonna suffer, right? If your staff is working their ass off, your kitchen is going to be doing really well. So I'm just using it as an example because I think we need a more teamwork oriented attitude towards life. And we need to realize that I can apply for that job and I can do my affirmations all day long. But if the management, the hiring management, I don't know why I'm using a job examples, but if management doesn't feel like I'm the best fit for the job, then they're not going to hire me because that's their prerogative. That's their free will. You have to acknowledge that you cannot control other people. You cannot control your reality. I'm telling you, the only thing you can control is you. Flat out. And for better or for worse, okay? The best that you can do is seriously tune in to your gifts and your purpose. I'm telling you, because once you try and align with that and that becomes what you're dedicated to, that's what you're putting effort towards. You're putting effort towards connecting with Spirit and asking Spirit what they want you to do. Be like, oh, I want this. I have a desire for it, but only if it's in my best interest. May it work out. It might be something you have to decide. You might have to decide, am I going to go and do that or not? Because if I have the ability to do something, then I have free will and I have the choice, right? But if I want something that requires other things that I do not currently have, then I can't make the decision to do it. So those are the types of things that you relinquish to Spirit and just say, if I'm meant to become a billionaire or whatever, I'm going to put in the work using my gifts to move towards a financial stability, right? Let's, start with a baseline. I'm telling y'all this, I feel like with a lot of passion and almost I am kind of annoyed, but the reason why I'm annoyed is because I love y'all, because I love you guys, you know what I mean? And I'm also trying not to use the word guys. It's I'm training my brain. I'm training myself, to change my language in a way that really does clear out the clutter, okay? Or the things that I have been wired to use certain words, and I feel like it's okay to change that. I don't feel attached to that. I'm not mad because other people don't want me to use the word guys. So I guess I have to. It's I'm sorry, but like, y'all need to relinquish control. Like, stop with the like wanting to be the one in charge. And you're like, well, I don't like that other people have a say so because I just want to do whatever it is I want to do. It's like, then no offense, but like, then you have to accept the consequences of that. If you decide that you want to say awful things that offend people, I'm not saying the word guys is as extreme as like what I'm getting at, but I'm saying that if you want to say awful stuff that offends people, then guess what? Other people have the right to tell you that you're being an a-hole, you know? Other people have the right. Like, if this free speech thing is so important to you, then you better be ready to accept the consequences of other people saying what it is they want to say to you about what you're saying. So you don't get to have like unhinged like freedom, where that your freedom of speech becomes your freedom to hurt other people without consequence. Like, sorry, honey, but there's accountability in this life or after this life. There will always be accountability. And I believe that. So it's your choice. It's your choice. If you want to say and do whatever it is you want to do just for the, you know, for the sake of it, then go for it. But you'll have to suffer the consequences. So go for it. You do have free will. You can do whatever the F you want, but there will be consequences. So what I'm trying to say, y'all, is it's important for us to recognize where that we can change and we can relinquish control and stop being so stubborn and selfish, okay? And where we can focus in on our gifts and actually begin to master our gifts. Okay, so I'm going to get into these cards because this really does make sense to me. So we have the Star. The Star is about a fulfilled wish. And it's really about connecting, in my opinion, this is how I read the Star card, and especially in this context, this is our connection to the divine and our connection with our purpose. That's how I read the Star card. It's connection, and truly it's the connection of the wish, our deepest wishes. And more often than not, our wishes have everything to do with our purpose. And, you know, these might be things that, like I said, come to us in childhood. And I don't know why I'm getting that so strongly for y'all today, but that is the truth, is that we have gifts. And our gifts are so special. You have no idea how special your gift is. I literally want to cry right now because I trust y'all. Like, I trust that you have a gift to bring that is just going to rock this world. And collectively, like, if we were all to do that, oh my gosh. Whew. I'm telling you, we'd change the world. And we're doing it every single day. Every day is a choice to wake up, connect with yourself, connect with spirit, try and make decisions that are aligned with your purpose, and change the world. And you could be changing the world just by not being out there and acting reckless, by being passive, by absorbing information. I really truly believe that our collective intelligence, right? This is like our collective conscious, our collective memory, really like our collective information as human beings on this planet, that we've already been able to prove scientifically that plants do this and animals and insects do this. So why the heck wouldn't humans do this? Why wouldn't we have that same network? All right. And we have these networks even artificially through the internet, communication, right? So what I'm feeling is that our collective intelligence is benefited when people absorb information and are just passively experiencing this world. And I'm not saying that that's for everybody. I just really want to acknowledge those people today. I want to acknowledge all of us. I want to acknowledge all of us. And that means all of us, even the people who make our lives difficult, right? The people who upset us, that conjure hate within us, right? I mean, that's very real for all of us. We all have those people or that person, right? That's one of the biggest challenges of life, I feel like. Really, I feel like that's one of the biggest challenges of life, is to try and have compassion, try and have understanding when you don't understand someone, or when they make you crazy, right? And you don't get them, or you think they're dangerous and you want them to not do what it is they're doing, right? You don't think they're aligned with their purpose, right? I mean, we all have that person. I mean, you know what I mean? I want to reiterate this because I feel like it's really important for us to try and understand. Here's really, I guess, the message with that when it comes to hating people is that it shows us what our values are. It shows us what we're afraid of. And y'all ain't gonna like this, but it shows us the qualities we have within ourselves that we hate. And y'all might have a hard time with that one because you go, nope, there's no possible way that those qualities exist within me. And this is what I'll say to that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And you know why you hate them? I know y'all are literally like, I can already feel when people hear that, they're going to be like, I don't like you anymore. Fair enough. If you don't like me anymore, that's fine. But I still got to speak what Spirit is giving me, okay? Is that these are qualities that we all possess. That's the truth. That's the truth. Just like in the zodiac wheel, we possess all of these signs. We do. And you'll say, well, but planetary placements and houses and everything like that. No, we don't in our chart, But no, what I'm saying is that all these signs exist in the sky. These are constellation, right? So like, okay, so all of these exist all the time. Just like you are born a certain time of year. So that is, you know, the primary or the most powerful one in for you, because you know that's what was going on in the sky when you were born. So that energy influenced you. We even know the moon influences the oceans, y'all. I'm trying to combine these concepts of scientific evidence and spiritual practice because they really do go together. They confirm one another all the time if you're open to it. So what I want to say to you is that just like the zodiacs, we actually possess all qualities all the time. I know. I know. It's just like how you can be dangerous and you can be angry and you can be vengeful and you can be vindictive, or you can be afraid, or you can be compassionate, kind, selfless, and connected or disconnected, right? So what I'm trying to say to y'all right now is that when you hate other people, it's because of the qualities that you have within yourself that you are rejecting. And I know y'all are going to hate that because you're like, of course I reject those qualities, right? Well, I mean, good. I'm not saying you shouldn't, right? I'm just saying it tells you something about yourself more than anything. More than it tells you about other people, it tells you about yourself. And either it's something you're proud of and you go, psh, I'm not like them. It makes me feel better, right? Or you're like, but here's the caveat, is that we always think that we're right. We always think we're better. We always think that we know best. And that's just the reality, especially of narcissism, right? And especially like you can have narcissistic tendencies and not have like full-on NPD, which is narcissistic personality disorder. But you can have narcissistic tendencies because that is really what is, I feel like, rewarded and what's the word? That's what we're really taught culturally, especially if you live in North America, then you know that is something that is praised. And whether or not you know it, you might say, well, yeah, people are praised for being, charismatic or being attractive or being commanding. Their presence is commanding, right? Being dominant, all of these qualities, those qualities combined, like I'm telling you, I'm being real with you right now. That is narcissism. And I'm not saying being confident means you're a narcissist. I'm not saying taking care of your body and your appearance is narcissism. I'm saying that when you want to control other people and you get off on having power over others and you have a lack of empathy for others, that's narcissism, honey. I know. And you're still a human, because here's the thing. People always say, well, narcissists have no self-reflection and they have no way to understand that about themselves or to change. And they're never going to acknowledge that they're narcissistic. I literally don't believe that. We just got 44, which brings me to the next card, but I'll get to it in a second. I just want to finish my thought. But my thought is that no, I believe that narcissists can still hear these messages, and that deep down somewhere, because they're still human and they still are connected to spirit, right? That narcissists can still acknowledge and hear information. And whether or not they say, yeah, I know that is something I need to work on, they might resist it and be like, no, but they still hear it because they're still human. They still have ears, right? I'm not trying to be like condescending. I'm just trying to say that there are people who are further down the path than others, and there is a like a threshold, right? Just like a spectrum, just like everything in humanity and on this planet, there's a spectrum. So there's some people who are so far into narcissism that they will never acknowledge that they're narcissists, and then there are some people who are somewhere in the middle, and they're like, dang, I recognize those qualities within myself, and I recognize that I don't empathize with other people who are suffering, and that kind of bothers me, makes me feel like, dang, what's wrong with me? Someone could be sitting there bleeding out, and I'd be like, I don't care at all. Like, it isn't a natural reaction in me, right? I'm not saying that about myself. Like, I have extreme empathy to the point where it's a detriment to my well-being, And so I had to rein that in, because there is a spectrum for empathy. Also, it can be detrimental. So what I'm saying is that, we have choices in this life, and we have free will, and we can control certain things, and we cannot control others. So I would implore you, if you feel like you have a lack of empathy, get online. Really look it up. Be like, what's going on with me? Why don't I feel empathetic? Why do I feel like I want to control other people? Why am I afraid of other people being powerful? Why do I feel threatened by other people's emotions and feelings if they're different than mine, right? And that's not always narcissism. That's just in-group, outer group kind of thinking, where you think that everybody who believes what I believe is right and everyone who doesn't believe that is wrong. Well, check it out. There's truth in everybody. There's truth in everything, and there is garbage in everybody. And that's just, that is the truth, in my opinion, right? So I think that, and I really do mean that for everybody. Even the people that I hate, right? I still look at them and say, you've gotten a certain amount of truth in you. You have a certain amount of divinity in you, and you have passion, and you have vigor, and you know what you believe, right? So I just think that it's difficult that's why we can't black and white people. That's called splitting, right? That's also part of, unfortunately, those are symptoms of borderline personality disorder, right? Personality disorders are more often than not caused by trauma. So I just want to share that as, maybe a little point for compassion to enter, right? So, we can believe that people are good or people are bad without acknowledging the entire spectrum and people's ability to change and grow, right? And care about, themselves or others, right? Enough to dedicate themselves to fulfilling their purpose. Maybe their purpose in that moment was just to annoy you enough to get you thinking, so that you're like, wait a second, why do I hate people like that? Why? Let me check in on that. Let me really question myself for a second. Instead of always critiquing other people, maybe I should critique myself for a second. Be like, look, what's up with this hate in my heart? Especially if I tout about unity, peace, love, or I tout about Christian values, or values of mindfulness and love and endless compassion and unconditional love, right? If you preach these concepts and you're dedicated to that path, that's an opportunity for you to flex those muscles. That's an opportunity for you to be like, okay, wait a minute, maybe I need to be the bigger person. Or, maybe it's my job to protect myself in this moment. Maybe it's my job to protect others in this moment. Whatever it is, tune into your gift. Okay? Anyway, we got the Four of Wands. So that's why I said, with 44 on the clock, I guess 5 minutes ago, we really are working on our stability right now. You know what I mean? And I think it has everything to do with our relationship to others, right? So anyway, we also have the Four of Coins in reverse. And for me, this talks about letting go of control again, right? Relinquishing control, not being afraid of losing things, losing people, places, jobs, attitudes, styles, behaviors, whatever it is. You can let things go and you can move forward, right? And in letting things go, you have more room to receive, honey. Wow. So that's what I got for y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I truly am grateful. Thank you, Spirit. I just want to thank you for the messages and the guidance. We really couldn't do without you. I just pray for growth and guidance for us all, and tuning into our gifts and being disciplined enough to dedicate ourselves to it, and not give up on ourselves, on our purpose or others, and just try and align with you and with what it is we're put here on this planet to do. Thank you, Spirit. Appreciate it. All right. Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in, y'all. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff to support me and my channel. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much.